On this episode of the History of the Chorus podcast with Curtis and Josh, we finish our look at the band known as Vanna. Make sure to follow us on Twitter at IsSurvivedByPro for news and the latest episode postings. And make sure to subscribe to the show, leave us a 5-star review, and write us a comment on YouTube or whatever podcast service you're using. Make sure to also check us out on TikTok and give us a follow at IsSurvivedByProductions. Now, without further ado, let's start the show.
The devil is in Atlanta. Army surrounded.
Welcome back to the History of the Chorus podcast, where each and every episode we take a look at the history of a band from the core genre. I'm Curtis.
And I'm Josh.
Happy holidays, Josh.
Happy holidays. Merry
Love
Christmas.
your,
Happy Hanukkah.
Happy Hanukkah. Is that
Do you
it?
say happy or Merry Kwanzaa?
Merry Kwanzaa. Happy.
It's
You know what I've heard people say?
Kwanzaa.
Hey, Kwanzaa to you, sir. Kwanzaa to you and
Good
Kwanzaa
to you. There we go.
Good Kwanzaa
I like that.
to you. I like that.
Yeah.
Good Kwanzaa. Yes, we are innovators. Like the shirt, man. Nice festive shirt.
Yeah, it's a Christmas sweater, but it's also Star Wars. So
Oh, is it Star Wars? Okay. I was
Yeah.
wondering if I see it now.
it's it's in the shape of a tree, but it's like a bunch of different characters
Yes.
and
Yeah.
vehicles and shit.
Nice. Well, I got my lights up just like last year. So we're rocking in the Christmas spirit. All right.
Are you
Christmas is
your
over.
arms disappeared? Are you not using your green screen?
Wait a minute. Nope.
Nope.
Uh,
Oh God.
Ugh.
This one's just for the viewers. This is not gonna play well for the listeners.
Anyway. All right, man. Let's get on into it because I feel like we got some stuff to say today. So let's go ahead and finish our look at the band known as Vanna. Now, I think Josh would go along with me when I say what I'm about to say. Regardless of what our opinion is on regardless of what our opinion is on bands and certain albums and such, again, we've talked about it before, but go check it out yourself because everybody's got different taste, everybody's got different opinions. Somebody may like a certain, genre, somebody else may not, yada yada yada. So, again, just go figure it out for yourself. But at the same time, listen to what we have to say because I feel like we're two smart people, right? We know what we're talking about when it comes to music, right? Right?
I like to think
Maybe.
so.
Yeah, I'd like to think so too.
Yeah, I mean, this is just our takes on it,
Exactly. This is America.
These are just our takes, and you should form your own opinion, like with
Exactly.
anything else.
I agree. All right. Well, when we last left off in the previous episode, Josh, it was 2009. We had just finished A New Hope, not to be confused with the Star Wars movie, but the 2009 Vanna album, A New Hope, from Epitaph Records. Chris Priest had just left, the vocalist. He was replaced by Davey Muse on vocals. And so you have Evan Farmicus on vocals and guitar, Nicholas Lambert on guitar, Sean Marcus on bass, and Chris Campbell on drums, along with Davey on vocals. Now, that last album, A New Hope, was the last one to be released on Epitaph, unfortunately. Goodbye, Epitaph. We're moving on.
What happened there, I wonder?
I don't know. Well, I guess just like probably your
Epitaph
contract just runs
dropped
out.
them. Like,
Oh, really?
yeah.
Okay. Oof. Who knows? That's interesting, though.
I mean,
Does it
the
say where'd
plays-
you see that though?
that was just on their Wikipedia.
Okay. I was gonna say, I wonder if there's
the
an article
plays
about it
on
or
that
not.
album though are pretty high. Like on Safe to Say, there's almost 3 million plays on that track. And then a good number of these are around 400 to 500,000.
I want to say it was a really popular
It's a
so I'm not
lot.
really
It's like
sure.
twice as much as Curses, like easily.
Yeah. I don't know. Sometimes though relationships are just not good, regardless
Yeah.
of, if you're making them money or not. So,
I guess that's what I'm saying. Like something must have happened because they were clearly trending upward at that point. And
right. Yeah, I don't know. Be interesting to find out though. But yeah, no longer with Epitaph Records. The band would sign with Artery Records in 2010. I don't even think I've heard of Artery Records before. Have you?
no, I don't think so.
Okay. I'll have to look up, see what bands are on there now,
Artery.
or even then, maybe. So that's going to take us into 2010's The Honest Hearts EP from Artery Records. Obviously, this is going to be the first release with the new vocalist, Davey Muse. Um, kind of um, a show of, his talent, what he's going to bring to the table. We're gonna have five songs overall. We're gonna have three brand new ones. You got Lost and Bound, Sending Vessels, and Passerby. And then we have two re-recordings. We have a re-recording of Trash Mouth from the New Hope record. And then we have a re-recording of Dead Language from the EP, The Search Party Never Came. What'd you find, Josh? Oh boy, I don't like that face. That's a weird looking face. It's a disgusted face. It's a face of shame.
Artery recording, and this is going to be very telling for like where we're
Okay.
about to go.
Okay.
But Artery Recordings records a lot of BS bands and albums. Um, they do almost all of Attila's albums. Especially like the later ones. I'm not seeing like the first couple on there,
Okay.
but the only one there's a couple on here that are like a little redeemable for me, you know? Um, oh hell no, no way.
What'd you find?
Oh wow. Like the further down I go, this does get a little bit more diverse. Literally, the entire top section here was all Attila and like the worst Chelsea Grin albums.
Hey, Austrian Death Machine. Nice.
I Declare War, the Rage, they did do Attila's Rage though. Like that's a good one.
Chelsea Grin.
Yeah. These are all
Um,
like their bad ones.
hmm. Four letter lie.
But okay, so then
Interesting.
once we start getting down here, then we've got For the Fallen Dreams. We've got Years Since the Storm. They did the Alisana Decade EP. Eh.
I didn't realize that. This is a little off topic. I mean, one of the bands that was on here. Um, oh, this is former. That's why. One of the bands that was on that record label was I Wrestled a Bear Once. I didn't realize that they were broken up back in 2016. Hmm.
That they did you say that they were or they weren't?
That they were on Artery Records.
Oh yeah, yeah. Yeah, I saw them on the list. They did Kublai Khan's Balancing Survival and Happiness. Um, they did a Hoods album too. It's not one of my favorites. It's Gato Negro,
Hmm.
but yeah.
Very
Okay, so
telling though.
they did
Weird
the
variety.
I Wrestled a Bear Once album Hail Mary. Is that the one you were talking about, 2015?
I don't know. I'm just looking. It was on the Wikipedia and it just had like a list of the bands. It didn't have like records.
Okay. That one was really good. That one was I think it had been several years since they put out an album.
Really. Okay. Well, let's get back to Honest Hearts real quick because I wanted to ask you what what'd you think of the two re-recordings?
I liked them.
Did you like them? Okay.
Yeah, I
I
like that
just
version of I Am the Wind.
you mean Dead Language?
Yes.
Okay.
I don't know
I
why.
just no, you're good. You're good. I just I don't know. I mean, I think the only part that I really kind of like about it was it feels a little more like kind of chill out at points, and I think I attribute that to like the drums sometimes, especially towards the end of the song. Um, I don't know. I just feel like it's just one of those where it's like I don't want to hear it re-recorded. That's just me. It's like I don't want that re-recorded.
I
If
don't
you're gonna do that, it's like just play it live. Then, I don't need it
yeah,
on a disc.
I don't mind it. I
I'm not
definitely
hating it. I'll still listen to it, but
don't
it's
like
not
prefer them, to the other versions of the song,
right,
but
right, yeah. What'd you think about the three originals? Lost and Bound, Sending Vessels, and Passerby.
I liked them. I like this one okay. I like Honest
Yeah,
Hearts probably as much as I like A New Hope, Like
right.
they're it's not going to be curses or um
Search Party.
yes.
Yeah.
It's not going to
He's
be either one of
struggling
those
so
for
much,
me.
man.
Yeah, it's not going
Yeah,
to be
I
either one of
really,
those, but
yeah, I really like Sending Vessels is probably my favorite on this EP. Love that
okay.
very ending, man. The line that says, "So send this vessel out to sea. I'm not the ship I used to be."
I was going to say I do really
That's
like that
sick, man.
line.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I love that. Just like him, like the way he's screaming it, um, and then the way they kind of do it, like they just kind of chorus sing it at the very end there too, kind of almost kind of monk like, you know, chant. Yeah. Yeah, that's 2010's The Honest Hearts EP from Artery Records. Quickly following this EP, the band would announce in January of 2011 that they had entered one Glow in the Dark Studios, Josh, in Atlanta, Georgia, to record their next album, which would be 2011's They Came Bearing Bones again from Artery Records. Obviously, if you're going to be doing some work in Glow in the Dark Studios in Atlanta, Georgia, you got to be working with the one, the only producer, Matt Goldman, who had done work previously on The Chariot, As Cities Burn, Under Oath, Haste Today, 68. And he did the Devil Wears Prada's album 818.
Hmm.
You were you a fan of that? I know we had mentioned that album before,
I
but I
like
don't
it.
remember. You liked it? Okay.
Yeah, I mean it's okay.
Okay.
It's not like, it's not amazing, but
Right.
it's good.
Yeah. Not like
After
Dead
Dead,
Throne or anything like that.
yeah, there's like that run of Zombie, Dead Throne, and Space that's just
Right.
so good. It was 818 before Space?
I think 818 was after. I thought there I don't know, they may have something newer now, but like what I would assume would be their newest ish.
I'm sure there's more out, man, because they're still touring.
Right.
They're still doing it.
Let's see. 818 was oh wow. Was 2013? Really?
Yeah, time's flying by.
Okay. So you had Dead Throne 818, then Space, and then Transit Blues. Okay, that's what I was thinking of. And then the Act. I've never heard of the Act. And then something else, some other EP. I've never even heard of that one. Wow. Okay.
The Transit
Was it
Blues was the
the? Oh,
first
this is.
one that
Oh, I didn't realize they did a Zombie 2 EP.
what?
Yeah, came out in 2021. It's called Z2
Well, that's what I'm gonna be
or
listening
Zombie
to
2.
after this.
Yeah, we're gonna have to listen to that. And then they just put one out. Let's see, just this past September called Color Decay. Interesting. Okay. Interesting. But yeah, Matt Goldman going to be doing producing work on this album. Unfortunately, this is where, for me, this is where things start coming. Well, right after this album, things start coming to a halt, as this is going to be the last album for clean vocalist, guitarist, and founding member Evan Pharmacus and drummer Chris Campbell on drums. Songs on this album include Black Bones, I the Remover, History on Repeat, Breathing at the Bottom, Scarlet Shroud, Passages, Silver Sun, I the Collector, Careless Men Lead Careless Lives, Eyes Like the Tides, and White Light. What are your thoughts on They Came Bearing Bones, Josh?
This album sounds like they couldn't come up with anything, and they were like, "Hey, have you guys ever heard of this band, Alexis on Fire?
Oh
We should
no.
just do that. We should just do that then."
What? You think so?
With
You
that
think it
in
sounds like
mind,
Alexis on Fire? Okay.
with that in mind, go back and listen to this
I bet so.
album.
I'm
And
gonna have to. That's interesting
I,
because I like Alexis on Fire.
there's a couple like different bands that really stood out to me over the next couple albums, and I'm like, did they just listen to that band?
We
Um,
just got off tour with them, man. Yeah.
off over these next few albums, all the way up until All Hell, because All Hell is garbage, like front to back, like vocals, lyrics, and musically garbage. But all the way up until that, musically, this still hits for me. Every album from here to there hits for me musically.
Musically, not
The
lyrically or
Yes.
vocally. Okay.
Yeah,
Gotcha.
and they would all vary on those things. Like some of them
Right,
hit
right,
more
right.
for me vocally or lyrically.
Okay.
Um, so this one does hit for me. I do like the vocal style that they're doing in this one. I flagged a few songs while I was listening through to this one when I just like hear a riff that I was like, ooh,
Let's
or
let's hear it, man.
something.
Yeah.
History on Repeat, Breathing at the Bottom, Scarlet Shroud, I the Collector. Yeah, those are the ones I flagged for this one.
Okay. I gotta go back real quick. You're talking about Alexis is on fire. Is it so you say Alexis is on fire?
I say Alexis
Is
on Fire.
Alexis on fire? Yeah, Alexis on fire. Have you ever heard anybody say it? Oh,
Alex is on
Alex
fire.
is on fire.
No, I don't think
This is one
so.
of those where it kind of like, which one is it, man?
Yeah. I no, I don't think I've heard any, but most people I know don't know that band. So
Really? Okay.
yeah.
Hmm. I mean,
Even
they're
when I
not like
was in
huge, but yeah.
Yeah, even when I was in school, I feel like I only knew a couple people. Like Pruitt Nance was like the biggest Alexis on Fire fan ever for some reason.
Who? Who?
My friend Pruitt Nance,
Oh, okay. Yeah.
he was the
Yeah, I
one
say
who he was the one who was like riding that four-wheeler and drove through that like line that somebody put up and like severed his trachea.
huh?
Yeah, so he like had to I don't know, it like got fixed eventually, but he like had to whisper for like a year or some shit.
This took a dark turn, man.
He
All I
was
wanted
fine.
to know,
He was
all I wanted
totally
to
fine
know
in the
was how do
end.
you say Alexis on fire?
Yeah, and I'm telling you, Pruitt Nance was the biggest goddamn Alexis on Fire fan there ever was.
Oh my gosh. Wow. Okay.
Uh,
Yeah, I say it as I say Alexis on
Alex is
fire.
on
Yeah.
fire.
No, no, no. I say Alexis on fire. I'm with you. I don't think I've ever heard of anybody, but every once in a while I'm like, I wonder if there's somebody out there who's like Alex is on fire.
Yeah.
Who? Yeah.
Would you say
Yeah.
Cardinals is your favorite album?
Yeah, I would probably have to say Cardinals. Yeah, I would say Cardinals is my favorite album. That's a good one, man. That's a good one. And I
That's a
think
great album.
they went on hiatus right after that one, didn't they? They're back now.
Mm, I don't remember which album was after Cardinals.
I think Cardinals was the last one before they went on hiatus. Yeah. Yeah, Cardinals is that's a good album, man, front to back. Yeah, I don't know. I mean, I like it. I like this album. It's obviously it's no curses, it's no search party, it's no, A New Hope. It's still got Evan in it, still got his vocal style and his guitar playing. I just feel like once we get past, I mean, we're starting to kind of go downhill a little bit because it feels different already from the previous three. I mean, I'm kind of like you. It's kind of like I don't know. It's different. It feels like you're kind of going in a different direction. You tried something new, and I don't know. Maybe Matt Goldman was a part of that. I don't know. Would hope
Yeah.
not, but yeah, I just feel like once Evan leaves, my personal opinion, they should have they should have just stopped the band. Should have said, all right, we're just gonna go ahead and shut it down, shut it all down. And it's like if you wanted to continue on, you wanted to do all those albums afterwards, then it's like just start under a new name because I mean, am I wrong? I mean,
No, you
like
know my
I
stance
mean
on
like
that kind of
well, I'm
stuff.
just saying like the next few albums, like the style, it's not Vanna. It's not the Vanna that we grew up on, that we found in, the Search Party and Curses. It's just not the same. It feels like a totally different band. And when you lose your two main vocalists, that's a big deal. We talked about it before. It's like, you can lose it or you can switch out a bassist and, a drummer and sometimes a guitarist, but it's like when you change up the vocalist, that's a big deal. And that's a make it or break it type thing. And I don't know. I meant to go look to see go listen to some of Davey's previous band, that Seek or Destroy, and see kind of like what style they were. Because I told you before, I feel like the way his vocals are, it makes me think of kind of like a hardcore, almost like punk kind of style. And that's
Yeah.
just not, I mean, if that's what he's bringing to the table, it's like, that's not Vanna, dude. And I like his vocals in this album and the EP before,
Yeah.
but it's okay in the next one, what the few and far between, but
That's what I was
it's
gonna ask
weird.
you. Is it still him in Few and Far Between?
Yeah, he's in it till the very end. But
Because
it's
that
it the
that album sounds like they listened to Stray from the Path
Yeah,
and decided they want to do that.
right. Yeah, I kind of wonder what happened with his vocals when they got to Void. Because Void and All Hell, it's his vocals sound weird. I don't know. It's hard to explain, but you know what I'm saying?
Yeah. There's
Yeah.
somebody else that kind of reminds me of, but I couldn't ever put my finger on it.
Right. Yes. Yeah. I'm the same
Oh,
way.
I was gonna say though that either Dallas Taylor does guest vocals on all of these albums, or he does a really good Dallas Taylor impersonation. Because did you
Are
notice there's like several points where you're like, "Damn, is that Dallas Taylor?" You're
you
like,
talking about the new vocalist that comes in?
yeah,
No,
yeah.
I guess I
They
never
kind of
did.
like
I'll have to.
yell. They kind of like yell, like rough talking almost, but it sounds just like Dallas Taylor. Like it sounds like his voice. It's in a lot of
Interesting.
songs.
So I'm gonna have to go back and listen to "They Came Bearing Bones" and keep in mind that, or keep Alexis on Fire on my mind, and then I'm gonna have to go listen to all of Davey vocals on all these albums and keep Dallas Taylor in my mind. Okay,
Yeah.
that's my homework for the week. All right,
Yeah,
that's interesting.
especially few and far between. I think I remember some on They Came Bearing Bones and Void.
Is it, speaking of Dallas Taylor? Is it just me, or is it interesting how he changed his vocal style from Under Oath to Maylene? I
I
mean, even
mean,
like you listen to like what was the Changing of the Times, his last album with Under Oath, and then his first album with Maylene. It almost to me sounds like a totally different person.
it looks like a different. The first one looks like a boy. The second one looks like a man. How many years
True.
are in between
I
Changing of
I
Times and the self title?
I think just 1 year, dude. Because I think Changing of
No
Times was no no
way.
no 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 wait, hold on. Changing of Times I think was it '02 or '03? It was '02, so it'd be 3 years then. So he changed a lot then in 3 years. Because
Yeah.
like I said, just the vocal wise, you're right about the look, but just about like the vocal wise, that's a totally different guy.
Yeah.
totally different. It's like he decided I'm not going to do that anymore. I'm trying something totally different, and it worked out for him, man. Because it's to me that's an iconic voice
Oh
in
yeah.
Maylene, the way he does Maylene. But yeah, anyway, that's just my opinion. I will say too, the other part I didn't say was I almost kind of like listened to these next, well, from the few and far between till the very end. I almost listened to them, or I did listen to them, like thinking to myself, this isn't Vanna, it's just some like unknown band. And still, it made me feel a little better. But I always, would come back and realize, nope, this is still Vanna, and it's like, no, this is not Vanna. But almost like sitting there not thinking of it as Vanna kind of made it a little bit easier to listen to it and just like thinking of it again as like, oh, they stopped Vanna and they went to go start a new band, you know.
Yeah.
But I don't know. I mean, to me as a whole, these next few albums altogether, as a whole, they're not. I don't like them. I do like a few here and there, song wise, and we'll get to that here in just a moment. But yeah, I feel like this is the part where it should have ended. Vanna should have ended at Evan leaving, but I don't know. One man's
That's
opinion.
my feelings with Suicide Silence.
Oh, I think a lot of people probably would agree with you. I would agree with you on that. It's like why would you ever continue on after something like that? I almost feel like because of his death too, it's like it's almost like disrespectful to like continue on,
Yeah.
in that situation. I don't
I
know.
just it defiles
Oh, it destroyed it, man.
fuck it. Well, no, it even fucks up All Shall Perish for me now too. I can't even listen
Oh,
to
I
that
forgot.
without
I keep
thinking
forgetting
about
that.
like, oh man,
Yeah.
he fucked up Suicide Silence.
Great. Now I just lost two great bands. Grand. Thanks a lot.
Like
Yeah.
Suicide Silence's music was never amazing. Like it was very good,
Right.
but what really put it over the top was Mitch Luker's vocals with that.
Right. It
Like, and
was a good
yeah,
combo. Yeah.
it just it doesn't. It's not the same.
Yeah.
He
I
just
agree,
doesn't
man.
pack the same punch.
Which just goes right back to our point of when you change vocalist or you lose vocalist or whatever, it's a big gamble, man. It's all or nothing. It's either going to work out or it's not, and most times it does not work out.
I can't
So you
think
got
of
to
a case. Oh, I can't think of a case where I'm like, oh yeah, that really worked out. Can you? Like, can you think of a
the only
single vocalist
the
coming in that
the only one I can think of right off the top of my head is obviously, and we
Spencer
talked about it
Chamberlain?
before, is huh?
Spencer
Well,
Chamberlain?
Spencer Chamberlain worked out. I mean, yeah, that one worked out. I didn't think about that, but I was thinking of Norma Jean Putnam.
Yeah,
I mean, we've
but
talked about that several times before, and that's kind of a special situation too.
that's before those bands put out their best albums.
Right, right. Yeah.
So yeah.
Well, are you saying about Under Oath too?
Yeah.
Yeah, okay. I just want to make sure that's what you were saying. Yeah, because I would
Because
agree.
really, yeah, I can't think of a situation where so like obviously in the Suicide Silence point, like No Time to Bleed is probably their best album. Mitch Luker's on it. The bad stuff
Right.
comes later. I can't think of a band that had put out good albums already, like
Right, right,
really
right, right,
good
right.
albums
Right.
already.
Yeah, and then they switched vocalists and yeah. Yeah, I can't think of anything or anyone.
Because I'll sit
I
here
don't
and
know.
I'll
It's
sit
just
here and argue active depression all day. But
but no, it's Dallas Taylor is not. It's Spencer Chamberlain definitely took him to a new level.
yeah.
Obviously you have Gillespie and his vocals and his drummer style, but yes, Chamberlain came in and definitely took him to a new level. So
And those situations just worked out for the best anyway because we got two
you got two
better
great bands
vocalists.
again.
Yeah, then you get two great vocalists that kind of better fit the direction that the band is going,
Yes. Yeah.
in Norma Jean and in Under Oath. And then you also get two amazing bands that are offshoots, Maylene and then
The
the
Chariot.
Chariot.
Yeah. Yep.
Um,
Yeah. True. This is true, man. Well, like I said, Evan Farmakis on vocals and guitar and Chris Campbell on drums will be leaving the band, both due to family and financial issues. Evan would be replaced by Joel Pastuzak on guitar. And Chris, yeah, I know that's a tough one. And Chris would be replaced by Eric Gross on drums after the band had gone through several fill-in drummers on while they were on tour. Now, speaking about Evan, and I know I mentioned this his solo project in the last episode, but he would go on to start that solo project called Wind in Sails. If you haven't checked it out, check it out. If you haven't checked it out, check it out. Go check it out.
If you haven't checked it, check it out.
Check it out with Steve Brule. Yeah. All right, Josh, let's talk about 2013's The Few and Far Between from Artery Records. It's going to be the first album for Eric Gross on drums and new vocalist slash guitarist Joel. I'm just going to call him Joel on guitar and vocals. This album is produced by Jay Moss, who I actually forgot to mention earlier, produced their Honest Hearts EP. He's actually a good friend of the band. He's actually got a YouTube page where he does a bunch of deep dives into recording and how different sounds are made on different songs and such. So if you're interested in that, go check it out. Jay Moss on YouTube. He's got some pretty interesting stuff. Songs on this album include The Few and Far Between, The Lost Art of Staying Alive, Year of the Rat, I Said I'm Fine, Casket Rhythm, The Weekly Slap in the Face, Please Stay, The Thin Place, The Dreamer, The Thief, The Relic, When in Rome, and the finale, His Heels. Again, like I said just a little bit ago, these next few albums as a whole, I don't really like them as a whole. I do like, some songs here and there. The ones I like the little trio of I Said I'm Fine, Casket Rhythm, and the Weekly Slap in the Face. And I also like The Dreamer, The Thief, The Relic. Is there any songs that stick out to you, Josh, on this album?
I
Or
only
do you
marked
like
them.
this album as a whole?
Eh, no, I don't like it as a whole. No.
Okay.
I marked Please Stay. I don't know why I did, but I did.
Interesting.
Yeah.
Hmm.
Yeah, like I said, this album just sounds like musically it's still there for me, but vocally and lyrically, I'm not, yeah, just all over the place.
Your microphone sounds a little weird.
My mic sounds weird.
Now it sounds good. Okay. I think it's just because
Okay.
you're like far away from it. It just
Okay.
sounds like
Yeah.
it sounds like you're far away from it. Okay. Yeah. I don't know. One of the things too, I forgot to mention earlier that one of the vibes I get on these next few albums from Davey and his lyrics is like almost kind of like I don't want to say teenage angst, but more like a young adult angst. Like I hate the world and these are my problems and I don't know. Again, I think that kind of goes back to the kind of I feel like he's got more of a hardcore punk style in his vocals, and that goes along with his lyrics, obviously. But yeah, yeah, not a huge fan of this record.
Yeah. The further we go into this, the
I say it's just
worse
gonna get worse, man. Yeah.
it's worse
Well,
and
that
worse.
is 2013's The Few and Far Between from Artery Records. Now, once again, the band would be without a record label as their contract with Artery Records had run its course. So the band was out looking for a new label to call home. In order to do that, they decided to self release a 2013 EP entitled Praying slash Purging EP. This would be more or less kind of a show and tell type album to see who they could get interest from record wise. Obviously, the two songs on this album are "Praying" and "Purging." And this album would get the attention of one Pure Noise Records. I meant to look up, and we can do that here real quick because I've heard of that record label before, and I wanted to see who is on it.
Which one?
Pure Noise Records.
Oh,
Looks like you got Amni Affliction, Counterparts. Early November. Why does that one sound familiar? Hmm. That band sounds really familiar.
you know the early November.
That's what I thought. Okay. Hawthorne Heights. Ooh. 4 Years Strong. Knocked Loose. They're on there. Let's see. Stick to Your Guns. Are they on there right now?
I don't know if they currently are.
So I was trying to figure out. Or was that Sumerian? Century. I think they are now, dude. Anyway, let's see who else was on there. Let's see. Since it's fail, see you, Space Cowboy. What the heck? Prince Daddy and the Hyena? Never even heard of him. Oh man. Formerly, All Shall Perish. To the Wind. Handguns, Gates. Nice little interesting mixture there. Hmm. Wait a minute. Oh, the story so far, they're on there.
Are they?
Yeah, interesting. Anyway, Pure Noise Records would sign the band and they would release their next full length album, 2014's Void. Um, little tie back to previous episode, Josh. This album is going to be produced by one Will Putney, who was a member of the band Fit for an Autopsy.
The Putt Man.
The Putney. Do you remember some of the stuff that he did that we had talked about before, Josh? So he
No, fit
did
for an autopsy.
oh he did producing work on Every Time I Die's Radical and Low Teens. He's done
Okay.
producing work for Knocked Loose, for Today, and he also did Norma Jean's All Hail album. So
Okay.
he's been around. Um, let's see. All Music described the band on this album as a quote punk metal hybrid, end quote, delivering an album that was quote furious, punishing, and relentlessly hateful, end quote. Well, All Music, let me just tell you, this is probably my least favorite album that is under the Vanna name. I don't like Void at all. I didn't. There's really nothing like that sticks out at all to me on this album. None of these songs really are just like, yeah, okay, I could like that song, whatever. I just don't have one. But the songs on this album include Void, Toxic Pretender, Holy Hell, Diggin', Youth Decay, Personal Cross, Human Phobia, Piss Up a Rope, Piss Up a Rope, Pornocopia, All Americant, and yeah, that one.
Bienvenue.
Thank you. What do you
Yeah,
think?
it's that little run of songs right there. Piss Up a Rope, Pornocopia, and All Americant that just by song titles alone tell you what garbage this album is. Um, it's just it goes back to what we were talking about last week, dude. When I was talking about Sworn In. Like,
I was trying to remember what the band was. Yeah,
there's nothing beneficial here. Like, music's still okay. Like at this point, we're starting to kind of make a turn. Like music's
right.
decent in some of the songs, but um, I just it's not beneficial. It's not beneficial. And all it does is churn out a bunch of angry, sad boys, you know?
It's that teenage angst, bro.
Like there's very little like, hey, we feel this way, we know you do too, and like this is things getting better or this is you rising above or
Right.
whatever. It's more just like stewing in the bullshit, you know?
Yep.
Um
Stirring the pot, man.
Yeah, and that's my biggest beef with like Sworn In. I'm just like, all right, fuck off, sad boys. Like, we'll talk
Nice.
about like some. I'll love to sit here and talk about some good emo core. That is just that's some bullshit. Like
Yeah.
Sworn
We'll get
In,
we'll get to
yeah.
yeah, we'll get to that. Well, if you don't have anything else to say about 2014's Void, I don't. I would love to
No, I
move on.
mean, again, asterisk, like just listen to it for yourself. You know,
Right,
like
right,
form
right,
your
right.
own opinions about it. But I would say that especially in the genre of music that we're getting into, if we're gonna start calling it hardcore. I'm not gonna call it that, but if they're gonna start labeling it as that, then the lyrics need to be at the
Reflect it.
forefront of the
Right,
music.
right.
So if these lyrics are at the forefront of your music, then your message is garbage.
Then there is no hope. Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
So
Their next album should be, instead of A New Hope, it should be No Hope.
no hope
There is
for this
no hope
band.
for this band. All right, that is 2014's garbage album. No, that is 2014's Void from Pure Noise Records. The band decided to take a little bit of a different turn on their next EP. Was called Alt EP from 2015, Pure Noise Records. All five of these songs are cover songs the band members grew up on and felt inspired by. I don't know about you, Josh. Of course, I don't even know if you know about this album, but this when I first heard about this album, it made me think of have you ever listened to Between the Buried and Me's cover album?
Oh no, I
It
don't
was
think so.
way early in their discography. I think it was before, it was either right after Alaska or right before Alaska. It's called The Anatomy of.
Oh
It's a
no, I've
full
never
length
heard that.
album.
I've heard of that
Yeah,
album, but I've never listened to it.
yeah. It's I was trying to think of.
I did listen to this one though. And
What'd you think?
at first, because I looked through the songs and nothing hit me right off the bat. It didn't even hit me that they were covers. And then when I started listening to Beautiful People, I was like, oh, wait. I was like, this is a cover. And I was like, Self Esteem. Like, that's an
Wait a minute.
Offspring song. Zero, that's Smashing Pumpkins. Got the Life, Corn, Fuel, Metallica. I was like, oh shit. So, but again, going back to like the Dallas Taylor thing, he's really good at imitating other people's voices, except for Self
Right.
Esteem. That was not great.
Yeah, it was a little
But
different.
Beautiful People, like their rendition of that was pretty good. Um, I'm a sucker for a Zero cover. Like
I
there's
know
so
you
many
liked,
good
yeah, I know
ones.
you liked
Yeah.
Smashing Pumpkins back in the day, so
Yeah,
yeah.
I love a Zero cover, and I'm not a big covers guy, so it's gotta really be a good one.
It's gotta be really special for this guy to like it. Okay.
I feel like they
Okay.
really nailed Got the Life.
Really? Okay.
Yes.
Okay.
Like also I've listened to a lot of Corn like over the years, you know, like I listened
Yeah.
to a fair amount of Corn and Slipknot like early on.
Right.
So that I feel like they nailed that. And then Fuel was pretty good too. Like I don't hate this album. I like a good cover album. 4 Years Strong does the Explains It All album where they cover a bunch of 90s songs that were, you know, like influential or whatever, or some of their favorites.
Right. Yeah, this the Anatomy of From Between the Buried and Me came out right after Alaska. So
Alaska.
yeah, it's got songs from Metallica, Motley Crue, Soundgarden, Queen, Pink Floyd, Smashing Pumpkins, Blind Melon, Faith No More, Depeche Mode, Pantera, and Counting Crows.
How
Yeah.
what Counting Crow song?
Colorblind? I've never even heard of that one. Of course, I
Okay.
haven't really done a whole bunch of, listening to Counting Crows, but
What? You got a big Counting Crows backlog? Bunch
No,
of
man.
bunch of Counting Crows and Dave.
And Dave Matter. Yeah. No, they did.
Um,
Let's see. They did Colorblind by Counting Crows. They did Cemetery Gates by Pantera. Little 15 by Depeche Mode. Geek USA by Smashing Pumpkins. I haven't heard that one.
okay.
They did. They did Bicycle Race by Queen. Um, that's the one that I think that's the one that goes bicycle, bicycle, bicycle. So just imagine between them and me singing that. And then they did, let's see, Kickstart My Heart by Motley Crue, and then they did Blackened by Metallica. Blackened was pretty good. That's the opener for the album. That one was actually pretty good.
Do they cover it in their own style?
Yes. Yeah, they
Okay.
cover in their style. Yeah. Oh yeah. Yeah, they put that between the buried and me spin on it, man.
That
Yeah,
Between
that
the
weird,
Buried and Me
wacky
stank on it.
stank. Ooh, get that stank. I like that, man. Put that
What do you
between
think
the
about
buried and
this
me
one?
stank. On the alt TP, it's
Yes.
good. Like you said, I agree with you when you say he's good at imitating other people's voices. Yeah, it was good. I mean, I didn't listen to it a whole lot. I'll just go ahead and tell you that because I'm not a huge like cover fan.
Well, I only listened to this one time. Yeah.
Yeah. So I just kind of was like, all right, listen to it one time. I was like, all right, on to the next thing, man. What's next? All hell? Okay, let's go to all hell. Yeah, yeah, it was all right.
Yeah.
Um, I mean, it is interesting to listen to like, I mean, I will say this is probably like besides the corn song, I don't think I know Got the Life. Now I may listen to it and I'd be like, oh yeah, never mind, I do know that one. That's the only one on this album that like I don't look at the name and I'm like, oh yeah, I know that, which is weird because I feel like most of the time, like cover albums, you would have like a lot of songs that'd be like not like the most popular ones by those band by the original band. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So this one's a little bit different because it is probably more popular songs by these bands.
Yeah.
So, but yeah, that's Alt EP from 2015 from Pure Noise Records. Eric Gross on drums would be leaving the band after the EP was released and be replaced by Seamus. Seamus.
Get off the sinking ship, my man.
Exactly. Dude knew when to get out, man. Seamus Minhane on drums, which leads us to Josh's favorite album. I've got a hunch. This might be it, man. This may get the Josh Award right here. The Joshy. I'm
This
calling it the
hot
Joshy, man.
garbage pile of an album.
2016's All Hail, not to be confused with Norma Jean's 2019's All Hail. From
Hail
Pure
and
Hail and
hell.
Hell. All Hell from Pure Noise Records. Once again, Josh, this album would be produced by Fit for an Autopsy guitarist Will Putney. And I didn't know if you knew, Josh, that this is their final album.
It's
This is
probably for
it.
the best.
Get it all in while you can.
Yeah, it's probably for the best.
What do you think about this statement, Josh? This album peaked at number 2 on the 2016 US Heat Seekers album Billboard.
The fuck is that? US Heat Seekers album Billboard.
Oh man. Yeah. I don't know. I'd be interested. I just wanted to see what you'd say, man. And you delivered.
Well,
You
I got to
delivered, man.
imagine the other stuff on there is like Sworn In and Attila and Memphis Mayfire. Like I got to imagine there's a lot of hot garbage in there.
Okay.
Um, again, if you're a fan of those bands I just mentioned, then you might enjoy this album. But again, this is sad boy perpetuation here. You know? Which one was it? Wounded Young. I just throw that out. Don't ever write it. Just don't ever write that song. Because you're way too old in 2016 to still be talking about when you were in middle school.
Is
You
a
know,
little strange.
like it's time to move on. And I find it like embarrassing that those lyrics are at the front of something that they're calling hardcore. I'm not gonna call it that. Again, I'm not gonna call it that. But
It's not what he grew up on. Yeah.
well, hardcore should have the lyrics should mean something and they should be the leading factor. The music is secondary.
Right. Right.
Um,
What'd you think
but yeah,
musically on this album?
not good.
Garbage? Okay.
Most of their albums up until this, like, still do it for me musically.
Okay, let
Like,
me ask
there's
you this.
some really sick riffs, but there's nothing on this album. There was never a time where I was like, oh man, that was sick. Like, or
Yeah.
whoa, like that timing change was crazy. Nothing.
So there's not a single song on here that's like, yeah, okay, I gotta be all right with that. Okay.
Not really. I
Okay.
guess I kind of want to say maybe Flower is okay. Maybe.
Yeah.
But yeah, none of these really do anything for me.
I don't, again, like the last two, I don't like it as a whole, front to back, but I'm a little different than you. I like a few songs on here. I do I
You you
do
like
like
you like Wounded Young, don't
I
you?
do like Wounded Young, but
You sick.
hold on. Hold on, wait a minute. But I do agree with you. It is a little strange for him to be as old as he is, still talking about the problems that maybe he had in middle school. Is a
That
little
always
strange. It's
just
almost
drives me
like,
nuts, man. I always say that about Blink and like Sum 41 and bands
right.
like that. I'm like, dude, I
You
don't.
just make your living off of that. It's like, grow up,
Yeah,
bro.
I don't care.
Talk about your adult problems now, bro. I had to pay my bills last
I had to
night,
pay my
man.
mortgage. Yeah.
Right. Yeah. No, I think more or less like the stuff that I like on this album is just more or less because I find it kind of catchy and it gets stuck in my head. Like like I said, I like Wounded Young, I like Flower, I like the
Tell
acoustic
me
part
why
at the
you
end of
like
Flower.
Wounded Young.
It's just kind of catchy, like I said.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, then
Uh
do I have a band for you? They're
is it sworn
they're
in?
called Sworn In.
No, I'm not. I'm not gonna say I like that. I don't even know if
Ring
I
the
want to
sad boy bell back there, guys.
go. No, man.
No, I
I
get it.
was
I have this album. Like I don't
oh, me
have
too. I
any
got it
of
from
them.
you. Yeah.
I don't have any of them in between Curses and this. But I
Right.
have this album. And when I was listening to it, I had a hard time comprehending like why I used to listen to it, you know? And that
Right.
would have been in like 2016 when I was, cuz I'm like the same age as this guy.
Maybe
I
you're
think
going
I'm
through
like
some things, man.
a year older than him maybe.
Okay.
Um and so I'm like, yeah, I guess that makes sense why this played for me then.
Right. Yeah.
So that's why you gotta
Mm.
that's why you gotta listen to all this stuff yourself. That's why you
Gotta listen
can't
to
just
it for
take
yourself, man.
our opinion as the facts or what's gonna be best
Right.
for you.
End
So
all be all. Yeah. We're not some music matchmakers, people. We're telling you about bands that we know, that we
that
grew
we
up on,
like,
that we like,
and then you might like
and
them too.
you might like them too. And if you like them, maybe your friends will like them, and maybe one of their friends will be liking them, and then their friends will like them, and then yeah. Anyway, no, like I said, I like Wounded Young. I like Flower. Reaping a Whirlwind's pretty good, and I like the opener Paranoia Euphoria. But yeah, just as a whole, it's just meh. Front to back. I don't. Nah. I'd
Yeah,
probably just pick songs here and there.
it
But
doesn't work for me.
again, as we come to a close here on the story of Vanna, I want to say all hell, Void, and the few and far between, and the EPs, if you want to go ahead and throw those in there, should not have been made under the name Vanna. It should have been a totally different name. If you want to call it Sworn In Junior, that's fine. I couldn't give a crap. Or whatever, but it's
Baby
just
sworn
like
in.
baby sworn in. It's just like this is not Vanna, dude. And that's my biggest problem with these last three albums. It's just not Vanna. And like I said, if I just put that aside and I didn't think of it as Vanna, then yeah, I was okay listening to these three albums. Like I said, didn't like them as a whole, like a few songs here and there, but just when I started thinking of the fact that, yeah, this is still under Vanna. No, no, I don't like it. I don't like it at all, man.
Like I get why bands do it because you don't want to lose,
I was
you
just about to say
know,
that too. If you
you
start
don't want to
over,
lose
well, you
those
gotta
fans. Yeah.
yeah,
But I would argue that starting over, then you come out looking like you're this fresh new band
right.
with all you've already got all the experience, you already know kind of what works for you and what doesn't. So like you can jump in there and start popping out a few good albums right from the get-go
Now you just
and like catch
destroyed a
fire
band.
that way, you know?
Yeah. Yeah, now
So,
you just destroyed a name.
yeah,
That's unfortunate, man.
that
That's
is
unfortunate.
unfortunate. That's a shame. It's a
Yeah.
damn
It's a
shame, Curtis.
damn shame, man. It's a damn shame. All right, that is 2016's All Hell from Pure Noise Records. Like I said, this would be the last album from the band less than a year after the release of All Hell. The band would announce its farewell tour called All Good Things Must Come to an End tour. How original, how original that you're going to name your final tour that. Oh boy. Guitarist and clean vocalist Joel, I'm not going to say his last name, would not participate in the farewell tour. But, Josh, you know who would
Boo.
perform on the last night of the tour?
Oh,
Former members Joe Bragle, who was their original vocalist, the OG vocalist. You also got Chris Priest, who we know more as the vocalist of Vanna, Evan Pharmacus, the vocalist and guitarist, Brandon Davis on drums, and Eric Gross on drums. All of these guys would perform periodically throughout the final show. Once that ended, Josh, well, we got a new band. Have you ever heard of a new band called In Spirit, Josh?
in spirit?
In Spirit, all one word, In Spirit.
No, no.
So on October 1st, 2020, ex-Vanna guitarist Nicholas Lambert would announce that Chris Priest, Evan Pharmacus, Sean Marcus, Brandon Davis, and himself would form a new band known as In Spirit. Now, when asked about the direction of the new band, Lambert stated, quote, "We wanted to do something that fit into that sound we were doing back in 2006, which would be the time of the Search Party EP, but just done smarter and with better production." I don't know if you know this, Josh, but besides Joe Bragle, this is the original five members that most people know well from Search Party, Curses, and A New Hope. At this time of this episode, Josh, we are recording this 2020 in December, 2022, excuse me. Wow, we went back 2 years. December 2022, the band In Spirit has released several singles, no EPs or albums as of yet. I haven't, well, let's see here. I listened to one song before and it was all right. It didn't really pop out to me, but it was interesting that the original five guys got back together and wanted to try to kind of continue on from the sound that they had back at Search Party EP. Are you looking it up right now?
Oh no.
Oh, I sorry.
I was looking up stuff about arsonist get all the girls.
What the heck, bro? Why are you looking them
It
up?
well, you were talking about him doing the last show of the tour with him made me think there's on the album Listen to the Color that arsonist get all the girls did. That was the one they self like produced after kind of being away for a little bit.
Right.
And I would argue that's their best album. Um, but they brought back their original vocalist to do
Oh,
vocals on one of the tracks, like dual
yeah.
vocals with
Yeah.
um the guy who was the vocalist at the time. And yeah, that was just so sick. So let's try to see. And then I just fell down the rabbit hole, of course. Like there's been a stupid amount of people in that band, like a ridiculous amount of people.
Yeah, that's true. Well, let me dig you out of that rabbit hole there, Josh. And I want to know what your favorite album from Vanna is.
Curses.
Okay. That's what I was thinking. I gotta go. Curse is a good one, dude, but I gotta go with the OG. I gotta go with Search Party. It's a tough one. I mean, I could go Curses also, but I'm gonna stick with Search Party EP.
I feel like
This is probably
it's gotta be one of those two.
it's
But
gotta be one of those two. It's gotta be. If you're a true fan, it's gotta be one of
yeah.
those two. If you say any of the last three albums, you're dead to us. But that's your opinion. It's okay.
They're your opinions
um,
and you're allowed to have them.
but just know this: you'll be dead to us. Do you got a list of like some favorite songs, maybe, or
Um I mean a lot of the big ones. Um Curses, I mean Country Boys is still probably my favorite on there. Um Dead Language, Battle Axe, I'm the Wind. I do really like the there's a guitar riff
I can
in
barely hear you?
oh, there's a riff on, I believe it's either Black Bones or Either a Mover. I think it's Either a Mover. That's just like I don't know, it's so
Really
good.
good. Yeah.
Yeah. Um
Do you have
and
do you have a do you have a favorite riff overall from Vanna that you can think of? Is there anything that really sticks out to you? I mean, you know what I
it's
think
super
of.
simple, but one of the most iconic ones for me is in um I think it's Dead Language, and it's like at the end where there's like kind of the
That part.
no, it's where it kind of
I
fades out and it's just the guitar. It might even just be bass, but it's like
on Dead Language.
yeah, I think so. At the end where it's like in this crowded room with an empty view.
Yeah.
Like at that part where it's like just the vocals, the like chorus, the in this crowded room, the guitar is like dun 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 dun
Okay.
dun dun dun.
I was gonna say when I think of riff wise, when I think of Vanna, the first one that always comes to mind is the beginning, or I guess you could call it probably the main riff of Dead Language. At the very end, where it was like dun 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 dun
Yeah.
dun dun dun. Yeah, I always think of that when somebody says Vanna or I see Vanna or whatever. It's always the first riff I always think of.
Okay.
So,
Yeah, it's a pretty iconic one.
would you agree? I think we're gonna agree on this one. Would you agree that a good beginner starting point for any new listener to the band Vanna is Search Party EP and just go from there? Oh boy, what?
I mean,
He wants to say go to Search Party, Curses, and New Hope, and to just forget everything that happens after that, right?
it's just pretty it's still pretty raw
Search
in
Party?
Search Party.
You but that's the thing about it though. I feel like that's or do you think Curses is a good starting point? I mean, I could agree Curses would probably be a good starting point. I'm saying Search Party.
It really depends. If you're
Maybe your
somebody who's
style. Yeah.
into something a little more polished, you're probably going to want to start around what is it? Start around New Hope.
Not even
Um
Curses. Okay, really.
yeah, if you're looking for real polished and then see if that works you into Curses and
Let's say maybe go
Search
backwards
Party
from
a little
there.
bit.
Okay.
Yeah. Search Party just kind of feels
Interesting take.
like it feels like Bless the Martyr, man. Not that rough, but it feels like Bless the Martyr in comparison to um Redeemer, you know?
Right. Okay. Okay. Well, I mean, I understand that. I see what you're saying. Okay.
Um, I
Yeah.
don't know. Yeah, it really depends. If you're somebody who really enjoyed our episodes on the Chariot and Norma Jean and Once Nothing because you really like that, um, then yeah, start with Search Party. Search Party and Curses are going to be your go-to there, your bread and
Good
butter.
starting point. Yeah. But as always, like we say, listen to, regardless of our opinions on certain albums, just go ahead and listen to it for yourself. What I mean is go listen to Void, go listen to All Hell, go listen to um, Few and Far Between. Decide for yourself. We're not fans of it, but go decide for yourself. So, alrighty, man. You got anything else on the band Vanna? Final closing arguments, statements, concerns?
I'd give him another shot if what'd you say his name was, the guy who did Search Party and Curses?
A vocalist?
Yeah,
Chris Priest did Curses and New Hope. Nicholas did vocals on
that's right. That's right.
Search Party. Yeah,
If either one of them came back and like they started doing some music again, I'd give it another shot.
like
But with
under the name Vanna because they're already doing music, both of them together in the band In Spirit.
oh yeah. Well, I guess I'll just go listen to In Spirit.
Or were you just like too busy looking up Arsonist Get All the Girls stuff?
Yeah, so I'm done here
Do I need
listening.
to do I need to go back here? So in
I'm
2020, October
no,
1st, guitarist
I got
Nicholas
all that.
Lambert.
I'm so I guess that I'm done with Vanna because I was gonna say that I would give
Vanna's
them
done,
another
dude.
shot in the
There's
future if,
no, they're
you
not
know,
coming back.
somebody came back. But yeah, if they're together in something else, I will just
Yes.
watch that
Whoa,
other thing. I don't know why my camera got so
that was
blurry
weird.
all of a sudden.
Yeah, that was rude. I didn't know if it was your camera or my eyes. Um, I will say though, there's a bunch of like live stuff that they've played Vanna songs, like cover of Vanna, old Vanna songs as In Spirit. So at least they're kind of carrying it on that way too.
How does it sound?
Um, do what?
How does it sound?
It's not all right. I mean, it's a live performance, and they're older, so. Well, alrighty, man. That is Vanna, the band from Boston, Massachusetts. Josh, let's get on out of here. You want to, man?
Yeah, that was the hour and 20-minute second part of the Vanna episode that you didn't know you needed.
Yeah, exactly. Roll the outro, people. Make sure to follow us on Twitter at is survived by product. Excuse me, on Twitter at is survived by pro for news and the latest episode postings, not just on this show, but our other shows too. Josh, could you look at the camera for one moment, stop getting distracted, and tell us about these other two shows, the Red Right Hand podcast and the Throne of the Dragon podcast? Look directly into the people's souls.
Okay, so let's say you like the Peaky Blinders. You're like, what's all this fuss about? I've been hearing about those
What's all
Peaky
this hubbub?
Blinders, yeah, for a few years now. You need to go check out. First of all, you need to go watch the show, and then you need to check out our show that covers that show.
A show about a show.
And it's the Red Right Hand podcast where we cover pretty much spoiler free every episode of the Peaky Blinders, starting from episode 1, season 1, all the way through season 6 and the end of the show. That is still ongoing, bringing you news about the Peaky Blinders. We've also got a bunch of mini-sodes in there too, just talking about some history and things going on at the time. Then our other show, the history, the history of the dragon, Throne of the Dragon podcast, which covers each and every episode of HBO's House of the Dragons. Episode's still ongoing for that as well. Make sure you find both of those on our Twitter at IsSurvivedByPro. That's where you can find it all.
Make sure to also check out this guy over here, Joshua, at Joshua Lynn Gary on Twitter as well.
Titles.
Titles. Make sure to leave us a 5-star review and write us a comment on whatever podcasting service you're using. And if you want to listen to us and see our smiling faces, head over to YouTube page. Just search It's Survived by Productions, and they'll have every episode from all our shows. Subscribe to the channel and thumbs up the video. Good Lord. If you have a band from record genre you want us to discuss, leave us a comment. All right, let's get out of here. Goodbye.
Bye.